All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new review, and this is for the Acolyte Season 1, Episode 5. And this was the canon-breaking episode. And I'm going to talk about what I liked about this episode, and then the thing that I find just disgusting that Disney is doing with Star Wars at this stage. First of all, this episode was by far the most entertaining episode of the season. Now, it was touted before the episode got released that there was going to be a lightsaber fight that rivaled the Duel of the Fates. And for me, actually, my favorite lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars, including the Disney stuff, has been from the Obi-Wan show. That final showdown between Vader and Obi-Wan, when you watch the uncut version of that, it's pretty freaking awesome. They had actually improved on some of the moves that they did during Episode 3. It was like there was a lot of cool things about that fight. This fight in this show, the first 15 minutes was nothing but lightsaber fights. And while it was entertaining, it wasn't groundbreaking. It did not dethrone anything that they did in The Phantom Menace or any of the other Star Wars projects, okay? But this was the first time where this felt like Star Wars. But that's all I have to say that's good about this episode. Number one, and the thing that pisses me off that Disney is doing, is they're breaking canon. They made it very clear. First of all, they reveal who the Sith is, and yes, he is a Sith, and he even admits he is a Sith in this episode. It is the Asian guy from the previous episode. I don't remember his name. I don't know the names of the characters other than May and Osha. Outside of that, and Saul. Okay, those are the three that I know. The rest of them are all forgettable characters, and they're treated like forgettable characters. In fact, when the whole regime of Jedi came in the last episode, I said, this feels like Star Trek, and all those people are going to die, and sure enough, they're all dead. Okay, the Asian guy takes them all out before he reveals who he is. He's got a helmet that can block thoughts. It can short out lightsabers. The helmet could do all kinds of things, okay, which is ridiculous. There's no precedent for it. They're not explaining how. It just is, okay? And they took this silly character and made him the Sith, and he comes out as a proclaimed Sith in this, which totally breaks canon, because Ki-Adi-Mundi even said in The Phantom Menace that it had been over 1,000 years since the Sith had been around. This is 100 years before The Phantom Menace. And you really think they're going to be able to hide this from the Jedi? No. This is canon breaking all the way around. It's Disney not giving a shit about the franchise, and they're destroying it. And I'm sick and tired of it. They want to push all the original fans out of the way and say, screw it, we're doing whatever the hell we want. Whatever. And so they're ruining Star Wars. They're not even hiding it anymore. The writing in this episode was ridiculous. Obviously, the young Padawan female that was in it, that was kind of having a moment with Osha in the previous episode, she had the best lightsaber fight in here, and she's just a youngling. You tell me all the other Jedi, with all that training, can't even do better than this youngling. It's, again, them trying to make someone who shouldn't have that power have that power. It's very clear that Disney wants the females to be much better than the males. There is no equality in there. Males freaking suck. Now, this is the first time we actually saw a female get stabbed through the chest and actually survive, because that character got stabbed 3 times pretty quickly through the chest and was perished. She perished. And so, ridiculous what they're doing with that. Now, the choreography was amazing. Whoever did the choreography on the fights in this did an amazing job. Like, the fights were the best part of this. But it was, it was one part of it. It did feel like Star Wars, but then it gets ridiculous after that with the story. So ridiculous that it's even hard to talk about how ridiculous this story is. You have May, who's flip-flopping so quickly. There's no motivations behind her decisions. You don't understand. She takes, and at the very end, she ends up taking the place of, May ends up taking the place of Osha and taking her place in flipping. And so when the Asian Jedi picks her up. She's actually Osha, and May went back with the Jedi. And are you telling me that the Jedi are so stupid that they can't sense, either one of them, Sith or Jedi, can't sense that the person next to them isn't the person they claim to be? They can feel through the Force. Like, they are ruining the Force. They're ruining the Jedi. Disney has no idea what the hell they're doing with this show. They're just bonkers, off the wall. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. Screw the fans, screw the lore, just throw it into the show. And then you had them take out the Asian Sith, I'll call him the Sith, by putting a light on his back and getting those creatures to come out of the forest and pull him up into the sky. At this point, Saul had been knocked off to the side, and Osha ran off with May, and May tries to convince her, let's go off together. She says no, so she knocks out Osha, changes clothes, cuts her hair with a lightsaber, and then Saul wakes up, and nobody's acting like this Asian guy might even still be alive. And they're just taking their time. Like, they didn't try to get off the planet. They didn't try to leave. They're like, oh, whatever, we think he's gone, whatever. And you would have made sure that this guy was gone, or they would have gotten the crap out of there long before the Sith came back. But the Sith obviously isn't dead. They've got 3 more episodes. There's 3 more of this story crap to go through. I'm sorry. This is the most terribly written Star Wars anything that has been produced. Leslie Headland should be ashamed of herself. Disney should be ashamed of themselves. And Kathleen Kennedy needs to lose her job. Straight up. Anybody this incompetent should not be in the position that they're in. So yeah, you could tell I'm upset. I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan, and all they're doing is crapping on everything at this stage. They take it a step further from Ki-Adi-Mundi, being alive in the last episode when he shouldn't have been, to flat out breaking canon in this episode with the Sith. Give me a freaking break. Disney sucks.